How did I come out of it, you might ask? With great difficulty, self-worth, determination, and just getting on with my life, being determined, going against the grain to what the narcissist is expecting from you after narcissistic abuse. You know, they before they leave you trauma bonded, which trauma bonding means that you're attached to the person, you're attached to the narcissist, because they do that with sex manipulation, manipulating you with sex, emotionally manipulating you, and you kind of get attached to them. You may be codependent yourself. You might have shared some sort of like weed smoking, drugs, doing the same sort of kind of thing, which if you can get out of that and get over that, you'll recover and heal from narcissistic abuse a lot quicker. And the trauma bonding does or may, it all depends who you are, how you cope with it, and what type of abuse you've had. But it's likely that you've been trauma bonded, and that means that the person that has love bombed you, totally told you different things that are not true, that he's in love or she's in love with you, that they're around you constantly, so you form this bond with them. Like, it's a really, really close bond, and that's called and afterwards you ache, you're in an ache and pain actually over them. You know that they're bad, they've hurt you, what they've done is wrong, but you've still got that attachment, which is trauma bonding. You're trauma bonded to them. They've traumatized you because they've shocked you to the core and left you in a lot of confusion, a lot of grief and pain, because they've actually spun it round. They've done like a 360 on you. They're planning to marry you. They're in with you. They're in love with you. You're spending time together constantly. It's like you found your soulmate. It's so nice because the bond between you is really, really strong, and they share cuddles, they share kisses, they share lovemaking, they share, this is at first, they share everything with you that you possibly love about them. And they do that. They actually manipulative, sorry about my speech, in a manipulating way, make you fall in love with you. You fall in love with them, but it's not them you're falling in love with. It's what they perceive, how they come across, and you believe them, obviously. So 9 times out of 10, you'll fall in love with the narcissist. That's their goal, to trauma bond you, to reel you in to their world and their way of thinking, and you will probably change to their way of thinking and believe everything that they say is true, and you'll be fascinated by them because their way of thinking and their opinions and their subjects are so interesting as well. And it's kind of like, wow, you've met this great person, this man I've never known, or woman, is someone else. It's nothing like anything else. This person is like a dream come true, a phenomenal. You found, it's like, it's a soulmate, and they're so convincing, and they probably did play the part so well. It's like it's like acting. They're very, very good at acting, and they don't know who they are, so they'll be who you want them to be, so that they can get a narcissistic supply from you, which is like food for them and fuel, and your love that they've made you fall in love with. So you're giving them so much love, you're loving them, you're falling so so in love with them that you don't mind doing anything for them. You know, you'll put everything into this relationship. You'll work so hard to keep this relationship together because you adore this person. You absolutely love this person. This person is your knight in shining armor. This person, you've been waiting for this person the whole time, all your life, and now you found them. So you want to keep them. You want to keep them happy. So you enjoy doing things for them. You enjoy lending them money. You enjoy, you know, doing anything. You'll do anything for this person. It's like unconditional love. No matter what they do to you, you know, you still want them. So at first, it's a great like fairy tale, you know, affair, you know, relationship. So you're getting ready. You're like, you feel happy, but you're kind of starting to sort of realize that, you know, this tight bond you have with this narcissist is different, and you know, not like anything else you've ever had in a relationship from anybody. So you spend so much time with that person, which is probably different from what you've done with anybody, because these narcissistic relationships are one of a kind. So you're spending more time with this person than you've ever spent with anybody else. This person, you don't realise that they don't want you to, you know, they don't want you to see your friends. They don't want you to mingle with your family. They don't want you. This is what they're doing underneath, you know, underneath it all, behind your back, and planning. So you're loving all this time you're spending with the narcissist, but you don't realise it's unhealthy because you're not getting any other resources. You're cut off from family, friends, and sometimes the outside world, unless you're with them. And this is great, you know, you're with the person you love all the time. You love spending time with them, but at the end of the day, it's not healthy. But you don't realise that, and you don't know that, you know, what's going on around you really. I mean, with my narcissistic ex, I was sort of smoking weed. He introduced that to me, and I wanted to do what he was doing. And, you know, to be honest, in my opinion, at the time, I don't do it anymore, but at the time I enjoyed it, and I found it relaxing, and it didn't hurt me, and it was okay. But it sort of put a fog over my brain, and it kind of like cuts you off from seeing reality 100%, and you don't think straight, and you're just happy all the time, and, you know, you're just going with the flow. It's such a, you know, peace out, man. It's calms you down. But on the other coin, this woman is getting away with a lot behind closed doors, and, you know, underneath it all, behind your back, and obviously not being real with you, really. So so they use that as well to fog your mind, to stop you from seeing the wood for the trees, the actual truth, and you don't really see, and you're a bit foggy about what's going on, really, you know, the real reality of the whole situation, because you're in love. And it's a different experience, and nothing, it's all going well. So, and then out of the blue, all of a sudden, it's like you're a bad person. You are putting up with everything. You're putting up with, like, you're going along with you're not being yourself. You're not being your authentic self, and you're not actually sharing your views. You're not arguing with that person, and you totally, it's like being brainwashed. You totally agree with how they view the world, how they view things, and it's kind of like they're bending your mind in a way to think on their level and think how they think, and then the next thing, you have to do what they do. And before you know it, you don't realise that you're being so submissive, and because they start getting really bad tempered, and you notice little things like you get scared of disagreeing with them and going against anything, and in the end you shut up, and they shout at you, you know, this person shouting at you the next thing you know, and you don't want to upset them. You love them, and it's like, well, I must have done something wrong there. If I did, if I didn't, you sort of you don't want to, you know, argue. So it happens sort of in such a in a way that you're unaware of this way of men mind bending you, that the whole time they're cleverly doing this, and you have no knowledge and recognition of what they're doing, because they do it gradually and sneakily. So it starts off with them just like, for instance, example, my experience, this man went completely crazy at me out of the blue, because you're gonna have little like niggles and little, sorry, you know, little disagreements, and it starts getting out of hand. I'll tell you in a minute. And then all of a sudden they change. They out of the blue, their tempers like erupt, and they have rages, because basically what it is, why they start erupting and their tempers get worse, is because they're pretending, and it's exhausting them to be somebody they're not, and to fit in with your reality, your wants, you know, and relationship, because they're going against their own grain, they're going against what they believe in, and they're going against what they don't even want. They're going against what they want, you know. They want just to be an FB, you know, a fuck buddy. I hate swearing on YouTube, but that's what it is. It's just a friends with benefits. But in my case, in some cases, you know, people want relationships. I wanted the relationship, and to spend the rest of my life with somebody because of my age. And, you know, we both knew each other's ages. We went into this relationship really quick, so I didn't really think much of it, but I just felt in love with this person straight away. I fell in love, and he said and came across like it was the feelings were mutual. Basically, we're on a mutual ground here. But this all sort of started going a bit pear-shaped, because this man, you know, I'm sort of person that won't put up with any nonsense, any abuse, I've been through abuse before, so I know what it's like. And I guess I'm, you know, sticking up for myself and showing this person that I'm dominant, not as a man, you know, not as a, like the masculine side, but I'm, you know, I don't like being shouted at, so it's known, and he knows that. So he has to put me in my place and keep me submissive. Otherwise, narcissists are very insecure people, and they're fear based on abandonment. They have abandonment issues, so they get attached to you as much as you're attached to them, and they're very codependent on their resources, on the supply people. I mean, supply is like a narcissist lives for people. For example, they can't be alone, they can't be on their own, they can't not be in a relationship or have a FB. They always have to have people around them all the time. There's always, everybody's got to be in their life. There's always somebody that's got to be in their life. And they'll even stay with somebody that they don't like, because it's fear-based being on their own and needing company and needing supply to validate them, because they have no self-worth, no self-esteem, no identity. And so they have to like I say, copy, and get they're like succubuses. They literally suck the life out of you, because they're so, their personality makes them so low vibrational and very dark. And so you are the one that's keeping you both going in a relationship. You're doing all the work for both of you. So you don't actually realise, the wood for the trees and how much you're doing for this person, because you just want to please them. You want to keep them around, because you love them. And but obviously we don't know until we get out of it that, what about us? What about you as a person that needs to love yourself, that needs to, it needs to be equal, it needs to be balanced, it needs to be give and take, but you're giving and giving and giving, and it's making you ill. This is what I mean, they're succubuses. They suck the life out of you, the energy, your energy resources when they're gone is completely depleted. You feel like you're dead. You actually feel like, I felt like my ex-narcissist, sucked my soul out of my body, broke me, shattered my soul. Seriously, I had to literally start from scratch again. I felt like I needed to learn to walk. I needed to learn to talk. I needed to learn to get out of just, I was in shock. I was trauma bonded. I was left in despair, left for dead. That's the truth. They leave you for dead because they don't care. They go out to destroy you. Narcissists, right, are your enemies. They're your enemies. They are. You're sleeping with the enemy. So, but they're so clever at hiding and wearing a mask. That invisible mask that you don't see is somebody else's face that they're putting on. Somebody else they're pretending to be, so that they fit in and the relationship works for them, so that they can get what they want out of you, which is normally money and sex. 100%, I'm telling you the truth. It's all about sex and money. And it could be, they might want to steal things from you that might be beneficial. It could be any little thing, really. But these people, the narcissists, are takers. They don't know how to give. I'm sorry to say, they don't know how to love. They can pretend. That's what they do. And they get bored. And so as soon as you start putting your foot down, as soon as you start showing them that you're not putting up with being walking over like a doormat anymore, that's when their mask comes off, because they know that you figured them out, and you will. And if you're a strong-willed person, if you're sort of like a feisty woman or man, and you have morals, and you know that your self-worth, but you don't at the time, but you know that this is not right, you shouldn't be treated like this is not how people, because you don't treat people like that, and you don't accept that person treating you like that. But at the time you're so like withdrawn and exhausted because they have sex addictions. Seriously, honestly, narcissists, porn addictions, they are nymphomaniacs, and they really do, they're very, very sick. Not discriminating them, because everybody has, there's a lot of people with these sort of things. This is not what I'm doing this channel for. I'm not putting them down. This is not what I'm doing, but this is reality. I'm telling you the truth, and I want the truth to get out there, and I want to emphasize and just basically warn you. So, and tell you these sort of like the red flags and the warning signs and my story. So yes, they have sex addictions, which is why they'll never ever 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 settle down. They're commitment phobics, so they'll tell you that they want to marry you as well, and that they'll tell you stories that that you two belong together, you're twin flames. They'll agree with that. If you think that, I did. I was love is blind. I was blinded by love. And oh, so when they start knowing that you're sort of figuring them out, and things will sort of like, you'll put, cross your eyes and, dot your T's, is what it's called, or whatever, and figure things out, because us women have got intuition anyway. Everybody's got intuition. So when that gut feeling starts playing up, and you start figuring things out and things aren't right, it's because it's not, because they're doing things behind your back. They usually got people's numbers on their phone, and they'll slyly go to the toilet and, like, text people, and just do it so slyly. You don't know they're doing it. You don't believe they ever cheat on you, remember? You're in love with them. You're going to marry them soon. You're going to have a family. They want a family. They want a baby with you. They even try and get you pregnant, and I'll tell you why. Not because they want a baby with you and be happy and forever after. They want to come back to you. They want to know that they can come back to you, and that by getting you pregnant, you'll be, stuck with a baby on your own, so you won't be going anywhere, you won't be meeting anyone, you'll just be there for them for when they want sex, and you'll let them in because they want to see their child. So thank God, thank God I didn't have a child with my narcissist. It's very difficult. I have a channel on my on PTSD, and the other channel is on my story about sleeping with the enemy, it's called, and it's on my channel. And I've been involved with my daughter. You know, I had a daughter, a child, and you know, her dad was the same in different ways. He's a narcissist. So yeah, so unfortunately I was, you know, stuck with him really because I had a baby with him. So but this narcissist, I didn't. So it was hard to still get out of the situation because he didn't let me go easy. He wouldn't. It's like a game to them, and they are codependent on you. He wrote a letter to me and said that he couldn't live without me. He did tell me that, and that he basically needed me. They do need you. They do need you like a moth to a flame. They need energy from you. And he basically told me in a letter that he was addicted to me. So that's not good. If someone's addicted to you and that's, you know, you're an addiction for them, then they have addictions. And like I said, their addictions are people, sex, and money, and gambling. So as soon as I read that, I thought, you need to get help. These narcissists are mentally unstable, and you know, have mental. I've got nothing against mental illnesses, and it's nothing to do with that. I suffer with depression. I'm the last one to try and discriminate or put down anyone that's got mental health issues. But people that don't try and help themselves, that go against the grain and go against helping themselves, and it hurts other people, it's not right. You know, I don't have sympathy for people like that. And if they don't get the right help, you know, and you know, you can help yourself with a mental illness. You stop taking drugs, you stop drinking, you do the things that keep you well, and take your pills, your medication from the doctor. You do all those things and eat and drink loads of water and all that sort of thing. You will basically live a normal life as much as possible, better than being, you know, having a mental illness and, you know, put these things that you're taking, add into it, drugs, drink, you know, all sorts of things. It's going to add to you know, your misery and everybody else's misery that you come in contact with and have relationships with and are FBs and friends with. So not only are they hurting themselves, they're hurting other people. And unfortunately, narcissists have very evil tendencies because of what they dabble in and what they deal with behind closed doors, behind your back. So you know, they have a very... So they're not looking after their mental illness. So they're not going to look after you if they can't look after themselves. And you might be independent as well, but all you want is, you know, equal balance between you both. You want them to meet you halfway, and it's a 50-50 thing, isn't it? A relationship. It's not... We're not living in these people are living in the I don't know, we're not living in the 1960s or 1580s or whatever, where you know, a woman does everything for a man, you know. And this most of the time narcissists don't have jobs, and they expect you still. They just take and take and take, and they'll just sit there and just expect you to take, and just... It's like they think they're Lord Mark, and they're grandiose. They believe that they deserve a very good, easy life, and they will do anything for an easy life. You know, they'll take money from your purse. They'll be married to somebody else and live a life with you before they leave, and trauma bond you for their wife. And usually when they're not getting on with their family, their wife, their husband, this is when they'll, you know, make out that they love you and that they want to marry you, but they've got somebody else they're married to. And this is how they are. They're on and off, on and off. Unless that person, that married person, puts up with it, you know, they'll be left. This narcissist is going to be left. And they'll keep... Narcissists hopped from one person to another. And usually it's exes. They go back to their wife, and then it doesn't work out for a while. Things go a bit... They don't like confrontation. They don't like they like drama, but you know, they will leave if you don't, if they don't get their own way with you and you don't agree with them. They might stay with you, but they'll punish you in their own way behind closed doors, and you won't know it, but they'll be smiling at you, and that person will be in pain, okay, but they'll be smiling and they'll be happy about that they've put them through turmoil, pain, and you know, a lot of uncomfortable feelings, because they're not getting what they want. They need to stay with that person because they're married, they've got children, but they're still getting something out of that wife or husband, because they're putting up with it. That's why they go back. They know that their husband or wife will put up with it for however long. And, you know, they'll find out. Usually they know that some of them usually know that they're, you know, going out and seeing other people. And my ex was going back to the wife, I think, in my opinion, and because he was asking for money, for lending money for this, that, and the other, making stories up. So I lent him money. You know, I didn't realise it at the time. I was giving too much, but he was actually giving it to his wife. You know, so it's keeping the wife happy, being with me. He said that he's taken a break from her to her. I didn't know this at the time, and stuff like that. But in all of this, when he's gone, when she's gone, they'll go back to the wife or husband, but they'll have somebody else. They've always got somebody. They've always got supply. They're meeting people online while they're with you, and they've got their ex's numbers on their phone while they're with you, grooming people online, grooming people on their phone. You don't know about this. So what it is, when you've got fed up with them, because they always think that people are going to leave them before you do. Sorry, I'm getting I'm sorry about that interruption. They're getting ready to leave you because they know that you'll get fed up. A narcissist knows that people get fed up with them and they get left all the time because they can't act or be any other way forever. And it's a matter of time before you work them out. So they've got plans in place before they even meet you. So this is my story on narcissism, and that I survived narcissistic abuse, and it nearly, you know, it went on for a while. They don't give up. They stalk you after you've left them or after they've left. If you block them, it's a narcissistic injury. If you've left them, it gives them a narcissistic injury, and they're angry after. They feel abandoned, and their insecurities start, you know, but it's a narcissistic injury, meaning you've injured them, you've bruised their ego, you've caught them out, and they feel stupid and embarrassed, and they won't have that. So what they'll do, so sorry about this interruption, so what they'll do is keep calling you and keep calling you, okay, and even put a tracker on your phone. And the best thing I advise you to do, which I did, was block. I left. I got up and left and never went back. Never entertained them again. So block them. That will absolutely drive them mentally insane, because they have no power over you. It's all about control. They have control issues. They've got control. They want to control everything. They want to control every dynamic of the relationship. They want to control you, that your mind. And if you block them, that's like, it drives them crazy, because they don't have that control, and they feel out of control when they don't have control over you. And that not having control makes their lives chaotic, their brains chaotic, and they just can't handle it. So it's like, you know, it's a power. It's a power sort of power. They just got no power over you. So block them. It will piss them off. It will make them angry, and they will stalk you because they can't talk to you. And I was stalked for about a year, and every day I thought, how does this person know where I'm going to be? Why do they keep stalking me? Why is he looking at me? You know, this went on every day for months and months and months and months and months. And What it is, it's an intimidation tactic. So if you've got the knowledge, you know how to use it to your advantage, and you know how to handle it, and it won't affect you as bad or affect you at all. It doesn't in the end. You get immune to it, and you know how to handle it, and you know what will piss them off. So once you know all these little things, that it's called, I call it narcissistic protection warrior mode. So yeah, they can try their best. They're only looking at you because they want, and also they want to see how, where you've left them or they've left you, and whoever's blocked whoever, they want to see how you're getting on. They want to see how your life is and how you are emotionally and how unstable. They study you, and they actually look at you while you're talking to others to see and listen to your conversations, to know where you are in your stages of trauma, and you know how you feel. They want to see how you are, so that they can use that to their advantage, and then they'll plan to do something that will trigger you. So, and their aim is to cause an argument and get you to shout at them, because all they want is attention. They're attention whores. They just crave attention. They crave people, and it makes them feel good. If you give them the attention, if you speak to them, if you shout at them, tell them to fuck off, even negative attention is attention, any attention. So I grey rock this person, meaning I went poker face. Just, I had no expression on my face, didn't shout at him, didn't snarl at him, didn't give him a dirty look, just didn't even acknowledge him really. If I looked at him, I looked away, and if we passed each other, near each other, it's just like passing any other person. They'll do little things. They'll ride past you on a bike just to say, hey, I'm here, I can see you can't ever get away from me, that sort of thing. But it just goes over my head now. I'm like, when I see him, I just think, oh well, God, here he comes on his bike, trying his best. Didn't get him anywhere, did it? A year later, and it sort of fades out in the end, because they know that you've worked them out. They know that and they're trying to work out how much and it's doing their heads in. So they have to move on to somebody else. They have to stay with whoever they left you for. And believe me, it's always a downgrade. They get worse as they move on to one to another as they get older. Back in the year, they might have got on better. They might not have had anybody answer to them, and they've always won the game because it's a game to them. So, they have to stay with who they've left you for, and their karma is leaving you, or you've had to leave them for your own sanity and safety. So whatever the reason is for leaving, or them leaving you, they know that they've left you, and there's no way that they can come back. They've tried so hard. This person tried so hard to just make himself seen. That wasn't enough. If someone fights for you, they try and talk to you. They try and prove to you, and they don't leave it a year or two after, that they left or you left them. That doesn't wash. Don't let it wash, because there's something going on, something wrong. They've been left. They're in a bad place. That's if they come back a year later, something bad's going on in their life and they want to use you again. They've come back just to have sex with you, because they probably run out of people to have sex with. Life is just getting worse, will get worse and worse and worse because of their karma, because this is how they treat everybody. So, their karma is losing you, and they will never forget you. They will never ever. They're kicking themselves that they left the wrong person, basically, and trusted the person they left you for, who they thought was much better. And it turns out that they're nowhere near as good as you. Nowhere near. So they try and replace you, and 9 times out of 10, the person that they will go on about you to their new partner as well. And the past person, gets jealous of that, their partner. So they start trying to copy you, because the narcissist gets obsessed with you. And because you're one of a kind, you're a given person. Like me, I gave, and you know, I was really nice, really good, you know, sort of tended to this person's need and helped him and bought him food, you know, money I gave him. And I'm not saying I'm an angel, but I was an angel to that person. And I only defended myself when I got attacked. So, you know, you can't expect somebody to be completely, you know, just sort of not getting annoyed with somebody that is attacking you all the time, crazily mentally attacking you, verbally attacking you and shouting at you and doing crazy things. So, you know, and you know, if you've really given it all to that person, that narcissist needs that. You know, they need someone like that in their life to, you know, to keep them up, to keep their mental health good. And you sort of put them on the straight and narrow, and they're going to somebody that's a, excuse my language, I don't know how to say this any better, a downgrade. They downgraded and went to somebody more on their level, more of their sort of mentality, thinking and ways. Like, this person's a narcissist, is a sex addict, 9 times out of 10 they'll just go to somebody, you know, because they think they're good looking and attractive and pretty or handsome, and that person will give them what they want, sex. So but that person won't be like you, because that's their karma. The narcissist meets somebody that's given to them and is an empath and loves them, and it's really hard to find somebody like me as a person. And there's lots of people like me as a person, like an empath. You know, I'm a kind-hearted person. I don't do things to get things out of people. I do it because I love giving people, helping people. And you know, if I give it from my heart. If I give money, I don't expect it back, so on and so forth. So it's hard to find that sort of person for a narcissist, because they usually are involved in people, with people, you know, in that sort of circle they go around with, and they're usually the same sort of people. But you know, I believe that, you know, they do need somebody to level them out and keep them level and keep them on the straight and narrow. And that's what I was helping him to do, for that person. And you know, I know that this person's gone, you know, I'm not putting the other person down he's gone with, but I know that it's just a sexual based relationship. And you know, they might have a great relationship, but they've downgraded. I know this person, you know, I sort of don't want to go into somebody else's situation, but I know that, you know, it's not what they need. It's not the narcissist, you know, it's just sexual based relationship, and it's an illusion. And that person that they downgraded you with left you, you know, for somebody else. And that's why they got angry, because, and they also create arguments so that they can leave you. It's an excuse. They'll turn things around on you that they've done. And that's their way of getting away from you, blaming you, you know, telling people and saying to you, you know, and shouting at you and creating arguments, and, you know, planning an argument. And it's all planned out so that you look the mental one, so that they have an excuse to say, you know, I'm glad I'm away from her. I need to get away from you. You're mad. But they're doing this on purpose, so that they don't feel bad, so that they just can get up and go get on with this person that they've met while they're with you. Or it's an ex that they're going back to. You were just there to patch their, you know, wounds up, and help them get stable. Without knowing this, it was their plan for you to do all this. And you know, what do you get out of it? Just get like abused mentally, physically, sexually, you know, and all that sort of thing. You don't get left with anything else. You just get left. But there is a good side to all this. You've dodged a bullet. If you've come out of it, you know, unharmed, if you got harmed and you're okay, you can move on. As long as you got away from that person, if that person's left you, have a party, because if that person's left you, it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. You're going to feel upset. You're going to miss that person. You know, it's going to hurt, but you know, what is it they say? Rejection is God's protection, and God got you away from that person, or God got you away from that person for a reason, so that you could carry on living and learning from that experience, and it will make you a better person. You'll make better choices in the future, and you will recognise a narcissist again, and you will be more wary, and you will love yourself more. All that love, all that attention, everything you put into that relationship with that narcissist, you'll put into yourself while they're gone missing you. They're missing you and missing you, and they're just doing you a favour, because they've gone to somebody